Akon's one of the nicest people I've ever met in my life.
What the hell?
I was that kid at the back of the class that couldn't listen. For many years, I was a very do-it-myself person. If something's in front of me that needs doing, it's almost impossible for me not to do it.
What changed?
The realization hit me like a ton of bricks, man. It was, I found myself working unholy hours.
How much of the filming part of the film and production scene is a lie?
There's so many music videos that have been shot with no eyes, you know, that we just do a bigger story. We throw someone in a mask, man, you know what I mean? His best mate can get in a mask. Put your mate in the mask, he knows the words. No one knows the difference. No one will know the difference.
How do you recognize talent?
Fuck what they say, because they don't know. They're not you. So I don't think I should be recognizing your talent. I think you should be recognizing your talent. My world is people. Now with people come, what's the word? How do I say this nicely?
Hello everyone, welcome back to episode 20 of the FMU Founders Mindset Unfiltered podcast. I'm joined here today with a guest who has an enormous passion for film and production, dance, and even finding the future stars of this generation and paving a way for them. Our guest here started off his career as a dancer himself, and since then, he has been able to start his own agency called SM Collective Agencies, giving producers a one-step solution for global talent, event management, film and production, and even marketing needs. What more do you need? They deliver excellence in every project they do. Since launching SM Collective now has 900 plus professionally trained and vetted staff and 10 plus years of proven industry experience as a whole. Make sure you guys stay tuned throughout this whole episode. You're going to enjoy this one. But without further ado, I would love to welcome Riley Jubbie onto the podcast. Riley, it's lovely to have you join us today.
Thank you, for what a lovely intro. Yeah, pretty much. I couldn't have said it better myself.
There we go. In that case, let's get right to it. Let's get right in. Riley, are you in this industry for the love of the game or purely just to make money?
Ooh, that's a good first question, to be honest. And I think without a healthy balance of both, it wouldn't be possible. The money is a bonus. it is a bonus because there are times that honestly you have to rely on both. There are times that sometimes it's been a stressful one, and you know, when you're knackered and you've been working and you've been on set, sometimes it's thank God I'm making something off this. And then honestly, there's times when you see someone that possibly couldn't have had the opportunity rise to the main role, or you finally see a project come together that you really worked your ass off for, that it's only the passion for it that can possibly pay you, that the money value is nothing compared to, you know, the warm heart you get, you know, after you finally completed something you've been really putting your mind to. So I think there's honestly a healthy balance of both, and without the passion it never would have started, because this thing did not start making money. It was not a gold pot from the beginning. It really wasn't. So without the passion we never would have found the money side of things.
Doing what you do, it takes a lot of creativeness. It takes a lot of effort as well. Creating music videos, films, and you need a good crew around you as well. How many people does it take to film a movie, a music video, etc.?
I wish I could give a number. I've done projects. I've done projects with me and a cameraman. And I act as the producer, the director, the AD, the runner, the cleaner, the caterer, the transport, the HR, the lawyer, the accountant, and and then the cameraman is the editor, the DOP, the pre-production to post-production, and then there's teams of 50 plus people when you have costume designers, set designers, 5 runners, a catering team, tea and coffee makers. So it's very dependent on budget for film and videos. My team currently we're looking at about 4 people, including myself. So they are your, and that is very new to me actually. I was a very for many years, I was a very do it myself person. If something's in front of me that needs doing, it's almost impossible for me not to do it. So hiring for me and employing was completely strange to me because I could always do it. Especially working for yourself. So when you're working on your own company, I couldn't wrap my head around the fact I'd ask someone to do something and they'd be like, "Yeah, okay, that's on my to-do list." Where there's nothing on my to-do list ever. It gets done. Like if it's 3 o'clock in the morning, I will just do whatever needs doing in my bed, wrapped up, nice and warm. I can't expect this from someone else. I can expect this from me, and it's the bare minimum from me. Um, so it's been new learning to take the rein, let go of the reins a little bit, to trust. That scary old word. Um, yeah,
Riley, can I ask what changed? What changed from you wanting, obviously, from you doing it from yourself by yourself, and you could obviously expect the correct result. What changed from doing it as a one person thing to now sharing responsibility?
that I am one person. Um, that the realization hit me like a ton of bricks, man. It was I found myself working unholy hours, um, from 2023, around September 2023 until today. I've I've had the amount of days off you could count super easily. And that is no lie. I have worked through illness, through personal problems, family problems. I'd say holidays, but I haven't taken holidays. I haven't taken days off. Um, from being tired, from working on passion projects of my own, the agency still has to run. I've not taken time off. It turns out that your body has this thing called burnout. Who knew? Who knew? It's real. There's only so much you can do as one person, and I had to learn to autonomize and to really try and organize and automate systems that could be done without me, because as helpful as much as I could, I can't do every single job under the sun if I'm looking to expand. Things have been expanding rapidly.
Do you regret not sharing that responsibility earlier on?
Nah, it gave me resilience. It gave me the craziest resilience in the world, and it's not possible. It's not possible for me to be able to pay a wage coming from. From a working class background. I'm from Birmingham, man. Like paying someone's wage to me, that they're fully relying on me. That's that was inconceivable in my mindset. Paying invoices is very different to paying someone's wage. And that debt coming out of my bank every month was just not a place I felt ready for. So there's no other option. If I want to be able to run a big company, I've got to be able to do it on my own because I didn't want it to fail. And fail's not really in my vocabulary. It was never gonna fail. So if that meant I had to work 24/7, that meant I worked 24/7. And there was no questioning that, there was no option in that, there was no doubt in my mind that that wasn't the right thing to do. It was you worked your ass off, man. Otherwise, it ain't gonna work, and it ain't gonna work wasn't a choice. So
You clearly worked your ass off, and now you've got a huge company. But let's talk about before all of this. You've been in the scene for quite a while. You started off as a dancer yourself. How did that come about?
I've always had energy, man. I've always had energy. I was that kid at the back of the class that couldn't listen. Um, that that was interested. I was never that bad, you know? I always just had this attention problem, this energy problem. I never I was super interested in academic stuff. I'm a smart person. It's never like I was stuck doing physical activity my whole life because of how thick I was. That's not the case. I was smart. I just didn't know where to direct it. Um, Dancing, break dancing specifically, was pivotal moment in my life, man. I God knows where I'd have been without it. So thank God to my mother, man, who kept me on track throughout my whole life. Maybe go to these dance classes, whether I wanted to be there or not. Like I wanted to dance, but I used sometimes when I was younger strayed down the wrong path. And breakdance has a whole culture, you know, the culture's still with it today. It's huge. It's an underground scene. You know, there's people we're really thankful for. B-Boy Footloose, Russell David, the founder of Break Mission, the charity. One of my original mentors, and he worked me. You know, one of them where I grew up without a male role model in my life. So some bloke, man, a whole bloke telling me to, you know, fix up, do push-ups if I'm fucking around. Like this changed me. And I battled, and through breakdance, you learn, you know, you can't fall over and cry, man. You're breaking, you know. You stand up, you try again. You lose a battle, you try again. You know, you're scared to battle someone that's better than you. You give it your all until you win or you lose. And if you lose, there's another round. You have to go again. And that laid the foundation of my mindset. More than just the physical dance part, because obviously I managed to become a bad boy dancer. Um, so that took me down. It opened worlds for me, man, because God knows what I'd have done at college if it wasn't for dance. God knows what I'd have done at uni if it wasn't for dance. I barely made it through uni. Like, it's- but I could dance. Like, my attention was all over the shop, but I could dance. I just knew I could dance. So the second I left university, I went to Spain, got a dance contract, traveled to the Bahamas, got a dance contract, went straight from the Bahamas to Egypt, went from Egypt to Greece, Greece to Italy. Italy, I come back home, and then I hit me again. I was like, I can dance. What do I do? Like my attention's all over the shop. Luckily, I've got a big mouth on me, so I know dance, I know how to chat, and I've got a big network. And it was kind of everything else fell into place from that point forward. To be honest, it was my only option.
I think quite a few dancers themselves, they say the same thing. The reason why they got into dance is because they've got that much energy. They don't really know what to focus on, and dance is something that they can they can put all that energy out and give it their all. But how does a dancer find the right gigs when they're starting off? Obviously, you yourself, you worked with Three Rings before.
Yeah, that was my they're my old agent, man. They give me a gold card at their audition. I got this. I don't know. They give out two. I remember Three Rings, man. That's crazy. You brought that up. No, that was a brutal audition, man. That was that was a real moment in my career that I was like, this is a cutthroat industry. This isn't fun and games. Um, Three Rings are cool people. It's cool people. But I remember in that audition, there was like 300 of us. At the start, they kind of looked at us like, you. Um, you're cut. Yo, we barely danced yet. Like, you're not the look we're looking for. Bro, take your tops off and that. You're not what we're looking for. You're not the look we're looking for. I was like, Jesus, how have I made it this far? And then we dance. Then we danced. Then we did ballroom. I've never done ballroom in my life. Half the people in the class have never done ballroom in their life. Your cut, your cut, your cut. Somehow I made it to this final 10 and I got given a gold card. I remember there was people in the audition that someone had flew from Sweden or Amsterdam or somewhere like this, somewhere over there. And they was like, no, don't cut me, please don't cut me. Like, I've traveled so far to be here. And I remember him being like, well, I've told you you're cut. You're now just holding up the class. Can you leave the room? And I was like, shit, I've already traveled from Birmingham. Imagine if I'd have got a plane. Um, and it was really a moment for me again of if you're gonna take this seriously, it's no longer hanging out on the street corner doing some breakdancing. It is a real cutthroat game. So I'm not surprised it's hard for people to find the correct job. Um, it's a very close circle, unfortunately. And I think through SM Collective, actually, that was one of my main goals. I'm very proud to say I pay out around £30,000 every month to people that I believe in separate invoices, people I believe would not get jobs normally, but because of the way I find them, of the way they approach me, of the fact I've seen their CVs and it might not be stacked, but I think they're suitable for the job. So I'm gonna give you the opportunity over someone with a stacked CV that might normally get the job. Um, People that are maybe not that fit for the job, but they've simply got the determination. So I think without giving people a chance, how on earth do people get chances nowadays? How do they get the job? It's determination, it's resilience, but I like to believe I am a helping hand and force in this industry for good. For anyone that can't get jobs, give me a shout. I'll try my best for you always.
You heard it from himself. If you're looking for one, he's right there. Just going back to Three Rings, what is a gold card?
It was like you got straight through. It was like a pass, special pass. They either give out 10 or 2 or 5. They give out a limited number for the audition. And I was the least person in my mind. Honestly, I was shocked. And again, it really gave me a bit of a bolster of confidence, I remember. Um, Not to get too deep into things, but I believe this is important. Believing in yourself first and foremost. Like I said, I might not have ever been the strongest dancer in certain styles, but I remember the day before that audition, looking in the mirror, like really looking in the mirror at myself and saying to myself, I'm gonna fucking smash this audition. I'm gonna get through because what am I gonna do if not? Because I need jobs. I need this. I've chosen this path as a dancer. I've got no other choice. I remember taking the time. I sat there, looked at myself in the mirror, dead in the eye, and said to myself, "This is gonna work." And then got handed that gold card, and kind of been living my life like that ever since. Very determined, very a lot of self belief. Yeah. You could say I manifested it. I'm sure you kids love these words nowadays.
Yeah, you could, and that's the best way to do things as well. Especially not just dance, but even in entrepreneurship. If you manifest something, it's most likely to come to you. Now you've manifested your way up. Let's go back to what you do. You do video shoots, film shoots, and all sorts. Let's take a music video shoot for example. After completing the storyboard for the shoot, have you ever filmed it, but the vision was better than the outcome?
Yes. Yes. Because in this world, my world is people. Now, with people come, what's the word? How do I say this nicely? Um, you have to be prepared for changes. You have to rely on people. People can't always be relied on. There's times I've wanted a group of 10 people in the background, and that was my plan, and only 5 turn up. Problems within the game. Um, Let me try not to. I'm gonna try my hardest not to say too much here. There was times I'm supposed to be doing a rap video, and my artist has been arrested. My artist is no longer there. It's like, um, because you're working in the rap industry, like drill rappers, like real rappers. Now half of these people fake the things they say, but my guy didn't. So he was not there. So we had ideas like, let's just throw someone in a mask. Um, is anyone ever gonna know him? Probably not. Now, would I say that worked out better or worse that specific time? I don't know, but there were definitely changes that will take you down paths you didn't recognize were there, and now take you down pool were there. So it's 50-50. These might be better, these might not be better, but even if they're not better, it's what you've got to work with. There's no point. 20. But hindsight's 2020. But if you turn up and there's only 5 instead of 10, you just need to space them 5 differently. Maybe them 5 are now in different roles. Maybe you're gonna pick one who's gonna be the main model instead of a group of 10, and then they can. And I think thinking on the fly and being able to really slow down time and think, from the camera's point of view, what is going to be the best shot or the best thing that's going to tell you've got to work with is important. And again, I didn't come from a BBC shoot style background. Like we come with one cameraman and the model who we're paying £100 because it's one of our first shoots. Like, we'll pay you £100, we'll give you loads of food and coffee, and we'll say thank you loads, and we'll credit you loads. Like, unfortunately, when you're starting out, these are the things you've got to work with. And you learn to juggle problems where they're just no longer problems. Maybe I'll get there and the studio is closed down, so I need to find a whole new location. Like,
Well, that's the thing. There's a huge difference between, let's say, missing a few dancers. I'm sure you can work around that, but there's a huge difference between that and your main star not being able to show up to the event due to unseen circumstances. What do you actually do what do you do when it just plot twists like that?
you don't panic. You laugh, man. Jesus Christ. A lot of people, I like to look on the bright side of anything, really, because we're not dead. It ain't killed us. Um, so either way, and I've probably spent money to get here, so I can't write it off because that's a couple four-figure loss for me. So I can't write the shoot off. So damn, you have a laugh, you have a cup of tea, and you think, man. You think on the ball. Like I said, we threw someone in a mask, or you sit down and you find a bit of space. Possible scenario that could come out of this. If that answer is no, I'm a strong believer in cutting your losses. Bold and fast. Before I get myself in more trouble. But if my artist, like, yeah, we can do shots. There's so many music videos that have been shot with no artists. That we just do a bigger story. We throw someone in a mask, man. You know what I mean? His best mate can get in a mask. Like, put your mate in the mask. He knows the words. No one knows the difference. No one will know the difference. Um, you just make it. It depends if you need to make it work. If you need to make it work, you will make it work. It depends how important it is to you. So again, it's okay to cut your losses, like, bold and fast, man. This shoot is done. We're going home before we have to pay overtime for the studio. There's no point filming today. I'd rather take that loss than a double loss. But if it's doable, then like, we ain't dead. You know what I mean? Like, we're still breathing. We're still on set. There's still loads of magic that could happen. We could film all of the bits without the artist today, and then me and the artist and one cameraman will hit somewhere and do all of the performance scenes, and then we just edit it in. Um, I don't. There's no point crying about it. You know.
I mean, it's funny because you obviously said you can work around that by putting someone in a mask and no one's gonna know, which makes me wonder how much of the filming part of the film and production scene is a lie.
Cameras work magic, man. Cameras work magic. So there are we filmed a TV show not long ago. My own TV show, my first TV show. It's called Pole Dreams UK. It is a pole dance reality show. Um, I have some friends over in America, some friends over in the UK, pretty big in the pole dance scene. Pole dancing is huge and a bit of a crossover that partnered with some of the people like my people out in America. Now this was a crazy set. I'd never worked with pole dancers before, but you got some characters. So to be able to film some of the things we wanted to film, we had to cheat. Um, it can look like one shot. Edited, it might be about five. Um, we might be able to script certain moments. We might not be able to script certain moments, but miss what happened. So we might ask you to do it again. And it just looks like the first time. That's not lying to the viewers. I'm sorry, but if you look at some of your biggest talent shows out there, all of it's scripted. All of it. All their sub stories, they're probably written for them. Like, you know what I mean? So, or at least like exaggerated for them. Um, yeah, cameras work magic. And we are the entertainment industry. We're not the truth industry. This is not the news, which still isn't the truth industry. But yeah, we're in the entertainment industry. We're here to make things look good and entertaining. You know what I mean? So yes, we're gonna make. And on top of that, yes, like cameras really don't go through walls and things. So if you're ever looking at a shot, well, you're thinking, how did that shot happen? Yeah, the shot was faked. That's the talent behind us. That's what we do. Um, so yeah, don't believe everything you see on TV.
Now, Riley, to film videos, do films, you need quite a lot of equipment. How were you able to fund it when you started up?
My big mouth, man. Favors. Being friendly. This is why you don't shit on people. This is why you gotta be nice to people that you meet.
Always be kind.
Yeah, there might be that little cleaner, the little T-boy on your set, yeah, that you're mean to, or you think you're above him. Have a chat with him. Have a chat with him. I guarantee. But there are times I've spoke with someone, and it turns out how I met one of my good friends, Sam from Monkey Gruffalo Productions. He helped me out a lot. I'm gonna give him a shout out. Why not? Yanni, Tio, all the gang, boys. These are my team. So he actually applied to be a runner for me on one of my sets. Um, for one of my small sets. I wanna say it was a very low paid job. It was cleaning up, running, just assisting me in whatever way. I think I put a little casting out, like if someone wants some set experience with me, set. I ain't got a real budget, but you wanna come get some experience? Come. And he did. And as silly as it was on me, it wasn't really till the end of the day. Me and him got to have a proper chat. Turns out he was a bad man. He's the sickest AD I've ever met in my life. He's got boys that have got cameras for days, editors for days, and they're really cool people. And if he hadn't have done this free job, I'd have never met him. Um, if I'd have been an arsehole to him on set because he's taken the free job, and I think I'm above him, I'd have never met him. And me and him now work together loads. Um, so you never know who someone's gonna be. That's what. So you maybe can pull a favor from a cameraman. Maybe if I meet this cameraman, okay, can you do one shoot for me? Can you film one shoot for me? I'll produce one shoot for you. I'll send you a free model if you send me a free cameraman. Or the people work. We're in a community. Well, we literally people forget we literally still live in a community. We don't just live online, but you can still make friends and talk to people. You can still be nice to people. Um, Money's not just the only form of of use nowadays. We can still favor for favor. We can still owe people one. And if you're trying, and I'm talking from the very bottom here, and then you haven't got the money. I didn't have the money to be able to put a shoot together. Like I didn't, but I still would definitely try. And whether that means if you look through some of my catalog, you will find this face as an extra in a lot of videos of my own shoots because I couldn't afford the extras, or I couldn't afford the actors, or I couldn't afford the dancers. So I'm like, "Oh, fuck it, I'll do it myself. I'll be behind the camera and in front of the camera, and I'll be here and here because I need it to work." Or street cast. Like, you know what I mean? You're on set, you're missing someone. Excuse me, mate. This bloke might look at you like you're crazy, but if you haven't got the confidence to ask, he does. I guarantee he's walked past that set and you're doing in the middle of public and been like, Jesus, that looks cool. So you've got what's it called? Closed mouths don't get fed. So that you'll be surprised how much you can do with a little bit of effort. It's crazy. Crazy.
Riley, take me through the process from start to finish of making a music video.
Ooh, fun. First, so ignore me personally. We either work with labels or we'll work with artists. So 9 times out of 10, nothing against artists. Artists don't really spend on their own projects. They don't want to spend loads of money on their own projects because normally that's label money. When you're messing with label money, that's when we can put helicopters and tanks and 100 extras in your video, and guns and army and police cars, and we'll do a crazy video. We'll get the drone and we'll go crazy because your label is like, yeah, what? 70 grand for artists. They are in the same position as us. They are trying to make themselves bigger by doing projects. So maybe £1,000, maybe a couple £1,000, maybe something like this. The artist will normally come to you with his song, and will have no idea what he really wants the video to look like. So you can go on this crazy. This is what I enjoy because you can be creative now. The labels, they're a bit stricter. I need this image. I can't have my artist looking like this. I can't have this standard of model in there. They've got to be top class. Now we've got the song and we've got the concept. We storyboard. We make a treatment. We make a bit of a rough plan, schedule, shot list. Once I have the shot list, I can then move on to my proper pre-production. So what locations, what models, what cameramen, what crew do I need? Can it be a minimal crew? I direct and produce a lot, which is weird. It's like an angel and devil on my shoulder. Like the director in me is like, I want this, and the producer in me is like, you can't afford this. So it's like it gets a bit bonding. Means I know exactly where I'm at. Whereas if I'm working with a director that just doesn't, that wants everything and I'm like, we can't afford that. Um, it matters. So I like having that element of control where like I know what I can cheat if I haven't got the budget, or I know what I can splash on if I haven't got the budget. Um, might do a little recce, we might not. Again, there's a lot of places that when you've done so many videos, you kind of places you can use, props you can use, it gets easier. So then we might, we might do a little recce. We might speak with the artist if he's had I'm definitely going to call with my AD and with my cameraman, to make sure we're on the same page. Set a date, set the shoot date, and turn up at the shoot and smash that shit. And then hope that make sure that footage is safe after we finish shooting. Offload it and then go through a good couple stages of editing. A lot of back and forward with editing. There's projects I've shot a year ago that I'm still not maybe happy with the edit. So I'm going back and forward with the edit. Little tiny moment. Maybe the edit might take a week and it's sound and it's bang on. The artist normally gets the release, chooses the release. We are branching out into wanting to distribute more music and take on artists. I don't really represent artists to the fullest at the minute. So I'm looking at expanding into some sort of label structure for my artists. It would be fairly exclusive. So if there's any new upcoming artists out there, as long as you're cold, you could drop me an email, drop me a message. And yeah, I am looking to get more creative because again, if I own the label, there's more things I can push. We've got access to tours, venues, live shows, as well as the music, as well as the pop. I believe it'd be another force for good in the industry. So we'll see where that goes. Hopefully.
I think we can both agree that when it comes to shooting, there's quite a lot that goes into it in each sector. Quite a lot when it comes to filming, quite a lot when it comes to editing, recording, everything. How do you make sure you can visually storytell and make it match the theme?
So without getting cheesy, I'm fairly blessed to the point now where if I don't connect with a project, there's no point me doing it. Because regardless, I want the best. I want the best for my passion for the industry. My whole moral behind it, even doing this again, is a force for good. I am here to fuck shit up, but I'm not here to fuck shit up in a bad way. I'm here to be a force for good. So I need to make sure me and the artist connects on some sort of level. I need to make sure me and the song connect in some sort of level. That I can. If it's a song, and I've worked on Bollywood sets. I've worked on with Turkish artists. I've worked with songs I don't even understand the words of. So obviously, I do get myself a translation, and I make sure that I understand. But yeah, being a dancer has meant music's meant a lot to me my whole life. I really feel that stuff, you know. There's a certain beat, a certain message, a certain tempo. There's a nice saying that everybody I think's a dancer because everyone can understand beat because everyone was in the womb at one point. One, two, three, four, five, six. Everyone understands that. That's your mother's heartbeat. That is your mother's heartbeat. Everyone should understand that. So that connects to me. Yeah, at this point, the storytelling, I'm already on board. Um, I'm very visual. I'm very creative. So I simply close my eyes and do what the song tells me to. As cheesy as that sounds. And if the song's not telling me much, then I can't help.
Yeah. I want to base something off what you just said. You, from the very moment you're in your mum's womb, you can hear the heartbeat. You're already connected, which leads me on to a two-part question. First of all, are you born talented, or do you have to gain it? And second of all, how do you recognize talent?
Everybody's born talented. Everybody is born for a purpose. Sometimes it becomes your life purpose, figuring out what your purpose is. I was born with something. We ain't just dropped it. We don't just pop out. And that is my honest opinion. We're not these little shells that we seem to think we are, mum. Every single one of us is so special in our own way. Um And that is a form of talent, man. To be able to wake up in the morning and smile sometimes, it takes a lot. People go through all sorts of horrific things in this world, man. So, however, without work, w- our talent is energy. Yeah, energies. It cannot be created or destroyed. It's simply dormant or active. Yeah, that is fact, scientific fact. It can be transmuted, active, or dormant. There is no I've got no energy. Yeah. It's in us. It's what keeps us alive. So there is never talentless. There is I haven't practiced enough. There is I haven't found my calling yet. Um, I'm in the process of finding my calling. Who's to say I'm more as I've found because I've realised my talent more. Um, yeah, I would never say someone's untalented or born talented. You may have been born and then nurture plays a huge part. You may have to go through certain struggles that means you realise certain things faster than someone else. But who's to say that the end of your life might be quiet and the end of someone else's life might be manic, and they might have found their talent later on in life and be smoking you. Um, so yeah, I purpose, and I think it's a shame the way we live currently, to be honest, because not everyone chases their purpose, their goal, their dream, um, and I think that's extremely important. I don't know what I'd do without following my dream, without following my heart, without living my crazy old life that I want to live. So yeah, I think it's about realizing it more than it is about having it or not having it. Everyone's got it. Are you using it? Are you pushing it? Um, your second question was what? Sorry.
How do you how do you recognize talent?
How do I recognize talent? I recognize talent, man. In the smallest capacity to the largest capacity. Um, and then it really depends on your definition of talent. Talent, I guess, is just personality. Um, the woman that made my coffee this morning, she was lovely to me. I would say that she's talented at her job. That might not be her goal. However, her dream might be to own some company. But the way she's talking to me, morning, that's talent. That's personality. That can be taken to a different area of the world and work, and it might be respected more than what she does currently. And that's a shame because it's the same talent. Me messing around at the back of class, only me doing what I do now, except now I get paid for it. Um, the dancing I used to do on the street corner is the same dancing I do on stage, except now it's respected and I'm not getting told to move on by police. It's where you put yourself, unfortunately, is where your talent gets respected and recognized. And I don't think external validation for you to understand that about yourself. Um, I think if you know you can talk, if you know you're energetic, that is your talent. Just because people might tell you you're wrong for it doesn't mean that it's wrong. Fuck what they say, because they don't know. They're not you. Um, so I don't think I should be recognizing your talent. I think you should be recognizing your talent. And then you can tell me you're talented. Instead of me telling you you're talented, you should tell me you're the talented one. Bro, I haven't found my talent yet, but I know I'm to you. Because you've told me with belief. Um, and I don't know more about you than you. So don't leave it up to someone else to recognize your talent, man. Yeah, you've got to be yourself. You got to believe in yourself because no one else will. The amount you do.
That's what I'm saying. As long as you have belief, as long as you have confidence, you can go a long way. You can go far in this scene. Riley, has anyone ever come up to you, maybe not being the brightest star, maybe messing about in school, stuff like that, but they didn't give up and now they're smashing it in this scene?
You see a lot of people come and go, and it's a shame. Um, Whether I want to name names, I don't know. But there's people in my life I've found that brings me back to this purpose. That it's all recognizing your purpose to me, because you can have the right intentions, you can have the right actions with the wrong intentions. It gets skewed so far off. You can have the crappiest actions with the right intentions, and it worked really well. So you don't need to be the sharpest tool in the shed, man. Um, because this stuff can be learned. That you just gotta have the correct intention. Honestly, I would never slag someone off for lack of knowledge be gained. All knowledge can be gained. If someone has more knowledge than you, that is as simple as gaining the knowledge. It is nothing to do, but they can be an arsehole. Um, and if having the right intentions and the right knowledge, I believe you at your highest point. So you're gonna trump anyone that has the right knowledge and wrong intentions. Um, so yeah, without naming names, I think again, I thought
It's literally the same with entrepreneurship. It's the same. It's the exact same with entrepreneurship. You can compare yourself to these big companies, and obviously they're much more further ahead. They've been there, they've gained the knowledge, etc. But as long as you put the hard work in, as long as you have belief in yourself, confidence, as long as you're willing to learn, who knows that you could be the next big thing. You just need belief.
definitely, definitely. Look at Musk. I know Elon Musk. He gets so much shit. He gets so much shit. And he's might not always like him, but his intentions are. I think he's got good intentions. He's very goal driven. He don't care what you think about his company. He knows what he wants. He's got the knowledge and he's got the right intention, and he keeps proving us wrong. He keeps proving everyone wrong. The, yeah, I don't think it's about being the sharpest tool in the shed. I think as long as your intentions are right, you can learn the rest.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Now, Riley, let's say you've created a creative piece, but there's two sides once you've finished creating it. The first side being that you're happy with how it's turned out. You're, it's a done deal. However, the client thinks it's shit. The second side is the client is gassed. They're happy. They're, you know, they're satisfied. But you think that you can do better. What do you do in both situations?
You're right. Yeah. Start with a situation where I'm happy. Client's not happy. Um, Client first. 'Cause day one, that's who you've done the job for. So if a client has commissioned me to do a job for them, my opinion is second best. Although I'm the professional, there's a lot of clients out there that think and they just have the money, which is why they know best. However, in my world, if I'm making a video and I know what I want the video for, I know what that video is going to be used for. It might that the purpose of that video might not be to get 1 million views. The purpose of the video might be like, I want so and so to see this so they can see this new style we've used or new exposure. It might be experimental. So I might not have the correct mindset of I might not understand what the client when they might not have communicated that the best. So it's an I'm sorry. If it's a project that's been completed, like if it's a live event, um, it's happened. You know, apologies. If in my mind it's worked, then it's worked. You tell me what's wrong. Let's make sure we can fix it for next time. Let's definitely not lose the client over this anyway. Um, let's maybe let's maybe give a discount next project if they wasn't happy. Let's show them. There's times a client might not have been happy. Um, and we'll dig up some data to be like, no, you have reached this level of engagement. No, you have seen this level of sales from this. Like, oh, okay, so we have made a couple of grand. I'm like, fuckers, yeah, you made a little couple of grand. Um, or yeah, you've got like a million people have viewed the post. What a level of engagement from this. Not Yeah, so I would always take it into to high level of consideration because that's what we're here for. Without clients, what am I doing? Um, so client first. In the situation where I'm clients happy, I would definitely make this known because clients would love to hear this. I would not shit all over my own project, but I would definitely mention I'd have loved to improve some things about this. This is why it probably didn't happen. Can we attempt this next time? Or can I make this better for you for free? Um, there was a video I did the other day. The time on set just ran out. We only had 6 hours, which is not a lot of music video. Um, and there was a couple of people that missed their scenes, missed a mini scene. The client is super happy with the video. He's blown away with the video. He's so happy. He's like, forget them scenes, man. Like we've got our story. But I said to him, if I can get all of them people into a studio for free, I know them. They're willing to. They're willing. It was a passion project. Let me just add this little bit on for you, for free. It will take me a couple days. I know you don't see the value in it. If you still don't see the value in it after I've done it, don't use it. But I am a bit of to at least show you this in full. Um, and that's where again the money comes second best to the passion. That's where it comes back to it. That's why my clients appreciate me. Um, there are times I'm not needed on set. Where was we? We was somewhere in Wales. Like I'd never even heard of the place in my life. Couldn't pronounce the name of it now if I tried. And the set was running by it, and the client was like, "You don't need to be there. It's a drive away from you. Like you're busy, you're ill. Like don't. Why are you coming?" And I had to come. I had to see there. I had to be there. I went above and beyond. And it always means a lot. So maybe it's the opposite side to what we said before. Maybe now these guys want to up my rate instead of me having to give a discount. Um, but I always make the client happy first and foremost. And if they're already happy, I make them happier. If they're already not happy, let's try and at least get them to happy. My first company, man. It is not about me. There are thousands of people under me. I've got to make happy, and there are hundreds of people above me of my clients that I'm more bothered about making happy. I'm happy regardless. Like I said, I'm breathing. My company's running. My family's happy. I got friends. I got a car. Like, I'm okay, man. Like, and the rest of it is for you guys, man. The rest of our happiness is for everyone else. Honestly, if I can put my 2 pence in the world, I will.
Riley, before you mentioned live events, and that just reminded me, with film and music videos, you can retake as many times as you want until you get that perfect shot. But with live events, you have to make sure it's perfect without any second chances. Have you ever missed a moment in a live event that you couldn't go back on?
Yeah, yeah, we have. Yeah. Um, I got a good friend. I used to work with. Is the owner of 101 nightclubs. I don't know if you've heard of this. His name's Leon Extra. Man, like, I was helping him with some events over the last year. These are after party events for A-list celebrities. So we did Party Next Door. We did his after party. Lil Meech come over from America. His after party again. Capo and one of my good friends we work with. Um, the Claremont twins. I did Sabrina Carpenter's after party. Um, Now, these events were new to me. Um, so yeah, if anyone else, big event production there, after party production, hit me up. The the sound didn't go off. We did an automated sound, so it was like a voiceover. Your food is ready, also, for a sit down meal. That was supposed to be. That was the goal. The system didn't work, so I sat there behind myself, pressing each button, to try and do all these things when I should have been out running the event. Um, Yeah, we missed it. It just happens again. What am I gonna do? Cry in the corner? Like, no, no, I'm not. I'm gonna make it happen again, and it's a live event now, so no one there knows. No one knows something else. The same as I'm a dancer. If I mess up on stage, no one in the crowd will know at all because they don't know the routine. I will know, and if my face goes on stage, everyone will now know. But if everyone's doing the same choreography and I mess up and I just style it out, it looks like I've got a solo. Um, it's all, yeah. Don't get caught up on it. You can redo it. You redo it later. You can style it. Fuck up. It's a big fuck up. But again, there's with personality and passion, you can style that shit out, man. Um, if the music doesn't start, I'll just grab the microphone and pretend we're gonna do a big shot with everyone. Everyone cheers. Oh, now the music started. You know what I mean? Like, and it looks like it was meant to happen. I've had people on stage fall over. I run a show called It's Getting Hot in Here, and it's a Magic Mike tribute show. So we're touring around the UK. We have an amazing show. Again, if you look on my Instagram, s.m_collective, you should see some videos from our show. It's an amazing show. It's an amazing show. Magic Mike tribute. So we crowd interaction, high level choreography, lap dances, interaction with the girls, a host. It's an amazing show. So I had someone do a backflip and land on their face on stage. Thank God we didn't film that. Thank God we missed that part. It ended up better. So you gotta you gotta work with what you've got. There's no point crying over could have beens, would have been. What happens happens. As you mentioned, sometimes a fuck up could end up better. It could end up looking better. It could end up feeling better. And we're all human. People are gonna mess up. Things are gonna go wrong. The second I'm more focused on something that went wrong instead of what went right, I've already lost the game.
Let's go back to before everything even started, before SM Collective was a thing, before everything, to the moment where you realized that you wanted to pursue dance. How did your friends and family take it?
My family. No, we got a small family. We got a small family, so it means my mother, my sister, we're the only ones still here, really. So they're all we are. I want to say more than a family. They are my best friends on this entire earth. My tattoos out. I'm covered in tattoos. I've got a big old triangle tattooed on my calf that stands for my mother, me, and my sister, and that is there were no gaps in that triangle. You know, the head honchos at the top, and me and my little sister are supporting her, and that's the way we view that triangle, and it's impenetrable. They are my besties, man. They have never not supported me, even in the worst times. They really did keep me on track, and so there was never an issue of support from them. Now, when you're a young male in Birmingham, there are the obvious things said, but I was never bothered. I had thick skin, um, and I was cool as fuck. I can break dance, so I don't give a fuck what you've got to say about me. Um, so I was the only male in my dance class until I was like 16, maybe. Um, so I was happy. I wanted to dance the second I was any good at it, um, because it meant I could use energy. Music was playing, and I fucking love music. Um, and I was using my expression. I'd come home tired instead of coming home ready to climb a tree. Um, I was around, and at 9 years old, like at 10 years old, like to 14 years old, I was hanging around with 30, 40-year-old men. It wasn't like I was hanging with little kids that are still got this immaturity. You know, I was hanging with real men, like grown men that get your ass up and try again, you know, because they're still dancing. They're dancers. We're dancing on like it's the 1980s, man. We got lino on the floor outside, cardboard on the floor. Do you know what I mean? Like in someone's back garden. Like it's not we're not in some little studio, you know, doing Taylor Swift routines. We pop on a speaker and some cardboard on the floor. Um, so I had bruises all over my shoulders. Like I'm young as well. I didn't really ever listen to that stuff. If anyone, none of it really got to me. I enjoyed it way too much. I was so free. I was so, you know, expressive. You couldn't really say that to me. And then by the time I got like 12, 13, 14 years old, anyone that looked at my dance career and was like, "Why is Riley seen me?" I got paid like 14 grand when I was young. How old was I? I must have been 15 max, 14 probably. Early secondary school. Um, 14 grand I got paid from a buyout of a commercial, some commercial where I had to do contemporary dance. And yeah, all the talk goes away when you're. I spent all that shit in the 6 week holidays. Don't get it twisted. I spent on sweets and crap and taxis to school because I was the man. I ain't got to walk to school anymore. You know what I mean? I got 5 figures in my bank. It didn't last long. It don't go that far. So yeah, I was blessed. I chased my dream. My dream really, really chased me back. I made some mistakes in the way I handled things, but things that I wouldn't change. I wouldn't change anything that happened yeah, nothing ever. Definitely not.
You know, now that you've got a successful agency, would you say your support system's changed at all from that moment that you were earning some money, but you were spending your money, you made some mistakes, but now seems like it's worth it?
Always worth it. My support system's fairly the same. I've got my mum. I've got a friend or two. Sister, who's lapping me, by the way. I don't know what my mum's put in our blood, in our genes, but we're hustlers. My mum owns a barbershop. That's her company. It's her business. She's self-employed, owns a company. My little sister runs Ebbs Nails by Ebbs. So this is Nails by Ebby. So this is a nail business and eyelashes and teeth whitening and that's her own company. Um, and she started that when she was 16. I started my own company. All companies. We're not employees. None of us were ever employees. Like, we can't do it. Not nothing against employees, but it wasn't for us. Um, we had this mentality. We had this amazing role model that was my mum. So yeah, they're forever my support system. I don't know any different. Um, and I'm my own support system as well. I like to meditate. I like to really think about life, and death, and in between, um, and why are we here, and why am I in this meat shell that is I call my body, and what else is there to it? So the 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 questions are so much larger in my mind, and I feel like when you're comfortable with the bare minimum, which is what I know, which is I'm here, I'm in a body, I breathe, I have a brain, I have consciousness. What's next? And then you can start to play with things. You do start to realize that is not the be all and end all. And as long as you're okay with the bare minimum, the extras are just blessings. So I can support myself through that. I could lose it all tomorrow and I'll probably be a little bit pissed off, but I'd be fairly happy still.
It's good to have a good crew around you as well, because they, when anything goes wrong, you have to go to them. Let's think about SM Collective, the business side of things. When you're looking for an employee, what do you look for? What's his traits?
I have a very specific way of working, as I mentioned. I am very, very, very hands-on. So attention to detail, resilience, um, what's the word? Self-responsibility, and then there are times I'm super busy, so I might not be able to tell you what to do. Honestly, I don't want to handhold. I don't want to control and be this boss that's just like, you got to do this, do this, do this, do this, because I could have AI do that for me. What I need is people. Um, this is a people's job. People that can speak to people. People that can realize, do it now. Motto, which is, if something needs doing and it pops up, you don't write it down, I'll do it later. Like, you do it. Whether that's someone's responsibility or something, if it can be done, please do it. Whether that's as simple as there's a piece of rubbish there, put it in the bin, even if it's someone else's rubbish. Um, do it. Always do it, because it's a contagious attitude. If there's people around you that are just doing, 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 you feel wrong for not doing, doing, doing. So we're very much doers on my team. Um, we're not listeners. We're not robots. We're not oh, well, I'll sit here and wait patiently for my next order. I think that is just old school. Um, so yeah, that's super important for me when employing. I actually my employment process was pretty brutal. I I remember sending like a document, and in the email, with this document attached, I've written, okay, so to book your interview, you need to send me your name, your date of birth, blah blah blah, and your favorite color. Now, at the bottom of my actual information pack document, in the smallest font I could possibly write, at the very bottom of this document, was, if you've read this document properly, do not send me your favorite color. Send me your favorite chocolate bar. And this filtered out, read the information properly. You didn't get an interview. Because there's loads of people going, yeah, my favourite colour's blue. I'm Rachel. Can you, well, and then there's people going, yeah, yeah, this is my favourite chocolate bar. And I'm like, you read through the document to the bottom. You've seen something at the bottom. You've zoomed in on it and gone, oh. So people that had real attention to detail, and this cut out about 20 applications because they were just like, this is my favourite colour. And I was like, this might have even been a mistake you've made, but what if that was a client's pitch? What if that was a director's really important point, um, and you've missed it? And then because you've missed it, the whole project has gone this way, and you're completely wrong. Then the client will be unhappy. So attention to detail was really big for me when hiring. I didn't mean to be sneaky, and I didn't mean to be like trying to catch people out, but I really did want to filter. I really did want to filter. Definitely.
Right, right. With having a big crew, there can be those certain situations where you might possibly have to let some people go as well. Can you take me back to the first time that you had to do that and how it made you feel?
No, I'm a big softy, man. I'm a big softy at heart. I like to see the best in people. So I say it takes a lot, but you've got to have done something if I'm gonna let you go. It's got to be inexcusable. Um, or it's got to have come from a client. So there's times I've had a client go, "We don't want this person anymore," and I might love them. I might think they're great, and if the client's told me cut you, you've got to be cut. So I think I said it at the start. It's bold and strong, and you don't look back. Um, not every moment, and this is enjoyable. Sometimes you do have to play the role of the boss. As much as I like to think I'm everyone's mate, I sit you down politely. I call you politely, and I tell you the reason, and I tell you this doesn't mean mine and your relationship is finished, but for you in this job, this is finished. Um, I'm so sorry about that. And this has happened a lot, and I might if it, and I know this person. Maybe they've had a bad day. Maybe they turned up late. Maybe they've done something inexcusable for this project, but not for me. In the grand scheme of things, I might try and go, okay, but I have got this opportunity for you to prove yourself again. So maybe that this is done, but let's try this. Or if it is inexcusable, then unfortunately, mine and your path has finished now. We you're gone. You unfortunately. I'm very shiny object syndrome. I am very task to task. So the talks of it will probably leave my mind quite fast, unfortunately, because I have a lot going on. So yes, I might feel a bit bad, but within the next 10 minutes, I will be back with my head in my laptop working on something and it won't cross my mind again. Yeah, unfortunately, that's just the way it works.
That's that entrepreneurial mindset. Now, before as well, you mentioned that your mum owned a barbershop. And I'm sure you've done your fair share of shifts in there, helped clean up, mop the floors, broom up. Would you say you learn would you say you learned the craft of business from her or from somewhere else?
Yes. I I I, I knew no different. Did I ever have a job? I'm actually trying to think now. I was never a very good employee. I was never. Um, I used to hate sweeping the floor. I used to love sweeping the floor because I spent time with my mum, but I used to hate sweeping the floor. Um, but she got up for work every morning, no matter how she felt. Um, she got home late, no matter how bad she wanted to spend time with us. And I learned that she was doing that out of love. And I probably have picked this up where I show a lot of love through my actions. I'm not, verbally. So yeah, I might work my arse off to make sure we've all got a good support system, but I might not be the best at, saying I love you. So this is probably, this is it has been ingrained in me. It's what I understand. You go to work no matter how you feel. But then yeah, that really did. I don't think I've ever had a job. I used to do little bits of promo work when I was figuring out what to do. Dance work. My first contract, as I mentioned, and I got sacked. Uh, because I just didn't like the boss. I didn't like the way I was spoke to for the wage I was being paid. I didn't like, and that's not me being, oh, I can only work for myself. I don't think it was like that. It was just I had expression. I had things that I believed was important. I had ways of doing things that didn't fit with what he was saying to do. I didn't appreciate his style of being a boss of our employees. I've never, like, ever. I can be stern, and I can be adamant, and I can. This he's doing now. But I remember he had his finger in my face like this, and then I was just like, what? Um, being employed, I don't feel like I was cut out for that. I also don't feel like this is the be all or end all owning a company. This is a means to me being able to help. This is not I want to own a company. Gap. I've seen a problem, I've seen an issue. So if there are little people out there like me that simply can't be living like that, then follow the path. Hopefully, I've kicked down the door for you to follow. Hopefully, you can come and apply for my agency and you can work twice a month and earn more than minimum wage you'll get paid at somewhere else. You go on 2 jobs, and then the rest of the time you can spend practicing your piano or running or training for the Olympics, makes you be a human. Because we're not these little bots, man. We're being farmed at the end of the day. We're not these little bots that just fork out money for the government. We're not. We should be following dreams. We should be running and making children and making music and enjoying ourselves, man. We shouldn't be. We should be. So if I can contribute to that, I will. And that is my own. Just it's never been that simple. Yeah.
Let's say someone's dream is to step into the industry that you're currently in. Let's say that's their live stream. What's the first step that they would need to take to get, first of all, into the industry? And do they need to learn everything before starting off?
Oh no, you can't. You couldn't. You can't learn it. I've got a friend. I've got a friend. That has this mindset, and I say it to him quite a lot. You can prepare your startup. Yeah, you want to make a company. You can have a business plan. You can have funding. You can have like this year. It will all go to shit within 2 weeks, man, because you can't preempt the problems that will come. It's impossible. Um, and you only learn how to deal with these problems by having them. You can't read about someone else's problems and think, okay, this problem is going to come up, because it's personal. So yes, be prepared, as in have resilience, have drive, make sure you have motivation, because sometimes you don't want to get up out of bed. Make sure you're focused, have your plan, so you know a rough where you're going to go. But I started out as dance agency. I now do loads of promo work, loads of acting work, make music videos. Like it just changed. And if I'd have just been, oh, I'm focusing on my dance world problems, all these other problems that have come up, so I don't really think you can prepare. There's no preparation that could be done for business, man. Uh, for startups, anyways, the problems are born through your actions. They're consequences of your actions. They're knock-on effects. They're not problems you can preempt. Um, so yeah, just be ready and enjoy it. Make sure you know what role you want to fit into, and then be ready to change. Be flexible. Be fluid. Don't have your heart set on something, because then if something else comes along that might be better, you might ignore it. So you gotta do it, and you gotta.
There was one term that I think it was towards the start of this episode that you mentioned, sorry, which is creative burnout. What do you do when you encounter creative burnout? What can you do?
You go back to basics, man. Back to basics. Uh, Speak with my mum. I go on a walk. I try my hardest not to go for a drink, or not to go down the negative routes. I read a book. I jump on a flight. Um, I'm very lucky, very very lucky that my passion is what I'm doing. So I can still book dance jobs myself. As I mentioned, It's Getting Out in Here show. I can still perform myself. So if I've got a weekend when I'm just knackered, I can put myself on a show and I can go stand in front. I know my routine because it's me that's made the routine. Um, I can have some fun. I still enjoy dancing as much as I don't get to go to the gym. Honestly, go to the gym, take a walk, read a book, talk to some nature, man. I look like a crazy man when I'm talking to trees, but goddamn, I do. Speak with my family, speak with my mom, meditate, look at myself in the mirror, ask if this is really what I want or not. no matter how knackered I am. Get some sleep. Get some sleep. Eat some good food. Like there's people really overlook this. There's many times I don't eat properly, I don't sleep properly because I'm working, really working. Food, sleep, health comes second best. Mental health, I'm not always focused on the amount that's coming in and out of my brain. Running. We do like 3 shoots a weekend max. We've done 500 activations in the last 3 months. Um, it's bonkers of how many per day globally. We've got jobs running from China to Sweden to France to Germany to Las Vegas to Dubai to the entire of the United Kingdom. Um, it's a lot in your brain. Sometimes you do need to forget. Sometimes you need to just go back to basics. A lot of it, and that's in any life. Sometimes jobs, you could be a dustbin man and getting up, going to work every morning, looking at this garbage is just doing your head in. Um, and the basics will kind of pull you back. The elements.
To be honest, though, the way I see it is if you get through the difficult times, it will definitely be worth it for the end result. And the reason why I'm saying this now to you is because you've been able to work with such huge names. You've done, as you said before, PNDs, After Party. You've done Sabrina Carpenter. You've also worked with Akon and Stormzy. What the hell?
Akon's one of the nicest people I've ever met in my life. Yeah,
What was it like working side by side?
Akon, and Stormzy. Both of these people, it's funny you pick these two names actually, because out of anyone I've met, these two are probably the most down to earth, like I've honestly met. So with Akon, that it was quite a weird background. I didn't know who I was going to meet because it was super top secret. It was so top secret about like this whole meeting him and discussing with his manager, to the point I'd got given this location. We got like checked by securities. We went in. And then it wasn't until I was half in the building and the Wi-Fi code was called like Like, holy shit, it's Akon. Because all we've been told is like A-list celebrity, blah blah blah. Like, that's the only info I'd been given to that point. Um, I'm guessing not to leak his whereabouts and stuff like that. Um, and I'm sitting there with his manager, and she just keep calling him Con. Con will be here soon. Con will be here soon. And I'm like, silly old me is just not thinking Akon. I'm just thinking, who's Con? Who's Conrad? Or who? And he swings the door open, walks in, eating Ben and Jerry's straight out the pot, just like this. What's up, man? Daps me up. I'm like, he's like, you want some ice cream? I'm like, sure, yeah, let's do it. Let's eat ice cream, man, in the meeting. He's like, now obviously these Americans, all his team, they're smoking and stuff. All these guys want to eat. All they want to do is eat. And he's like, what? Because he was in Birmingham. He was near me, far enough, but not far. And he was like, so do you know a good Chinese spot round here? And I'm like, no, but I can find one. So yeah, it's as good as yeah. Um, he's like, let's order Chinese for the meeting. Um, and our whole meeting, we just sat there and we ate some noodles and prawn crackers and chicken balls and sweet and sour sauce. And it was, honestly, he was just like speaking to you. Like it was like speaking. Oh, it was bonkers. So we did his music video on Vossibot, um, which was one of his biggest songs. It turned out to be, and he was riding around set on this little BMX, and they couldn't contain him. All his like team security, like he weren't bothered about any of them. He would just ride around on his little BMX, singing songs to himself, like singing some old Coldplay song or something, like, and it just stop there, have a little chat with you, ask you, blah blah blah. Even the extras, the dancers, the tea and coffee makers. This was Warner Bros. Studios we was at. Um, and he would just, security couldn't hold him, man. He was on one, just walking around. And then a very good one of his childhood friends, his name's Ryan. He was around, and again, he was a super humble guy. We were speaking loads, swapped Instagrams for future, all this stuff. And I just remember thinking, now I've been on set, the main artists, they'll be in their little hut. You won't see them. Um, they'll come out, they'll mid performance, they'll do their performance, and then someone comes up to her, makeup, put a towel around you, let's get you off set so all these people stop talking to you. And with them two in particular were probably two of the names that were some of the most humble people I've ever come across. For where
I think if there's one thing that I want for my audience, the people that are listening in right now from home, I want them to go out and make connections. They can network their way through, meet other people, because you know how important it is to build a connection with people like this. You've been able to do it with Stormzy, Akon. Anyone can do it. So, what's one thing that you've learned from working with them and that you should let everyone know?
I'm glad you asked this question. We do a lot of I still to this day go into a lot of schools and colleges and universities and do talks because again, I am bothered about helping. I really, really am bothered about kicking down a door and leaving a pathway for people. So close this is my biggest give. If someone asks me for one piece of advice, it's this question. And that is closed mouths don't get fed. Um there are so many times when we feel to force ourselves into these bubbles. And we're social creatures, we should be talking. If there is a famous person you meet and you come across, or if there is someone you not going to be famous, you talk to them. You tell them what you do. They might be an arsehole. They might go away. I don't want to speak to you. You need to go. Okay. You knock on 100 doors and one will answer. And you only need one to answer. So, even if you just introduce yourself, there's times we worked with Big Nasty recently. Um, and I'd spoke to him months back. I just introduced myself. Hello, mate. I'm Riley. I'm a producer. I also own an agency. Is there everything you ever need? Here's my card. Yeah, man. Cool. Did I ever hear off him again? No. Um, then, a couple months later, he's widow. And he remembers Riley, because I'd spoke to him before. Did I force anything on him the first time I spoke to him? No. I'd simply introduced myself, said hello, friendly face. Remembered me and him went clubbing. We was in the club the day after the show. Me and Nasty and like 4 security. Walking around the club and everyone's like, who's that? Um, so there's times I've to book a specific job or a specific venue, and I'm phoning. I can't get hold of them. I'm emailing. They're ignoring my emails. I will be at the front door of your venue without a doubt. I will be there. I'll be knocking on the door. Going, I need to talk to a manager. I'm like, who the fuck are you? I'm like, you got to find out. Give me 5 minutes. Give me 5 minute chat. Um, Tell me to go after I've said what I've got to say. I can deal with that. But what I can't live with is not trying. You know, I can't force you to book me, um, but I can force myself to try. Um, and I've got this motto, and that is you either book us or you block us, because we're gonna keep asking. We're gonna keep asking in many, many different ways. And you book me or you block me. And there ain't no in between, man. There ain't no in between. You're gonna do one or the other. You're either gonna be sick of me or you're and no, either way you're gonna be sick of me, because you're gonna either have enough and be like, you'll go away. We don't want you. Or you're gonna go, you know what? Fuck it. You keep asking me, we'll give you a chance. And that chance might be all you need. That the one chance, you know what I mean? You knocked on them 100 doors, you only need that one answer. And that's completely transferable. That's not my industry. That's door-to-door sale. Any entrepreneurship, that's tech, that's food and drink, that's anything. You've got to keep going. The bigger the pile of no's, the bigger the pile of yeses. You can't have a big pile of yeses and a small pile of no's. It is impossible. And if someone has done that in their life, come and show me, because I do not believe it. I don't believe it. You've got to get a small pile of yeses. So keep going till they block you, man, or book you, and that is it. Keep trying. Keep trying. The second you stop trying, you failed. Failure is not in my vocabulary. Do you know what I mean? Until you stop, there's no failure. Do you know what I mean? So you gotta continue and continue and continue.
Let's say, I give you 20 seconds, 20 seconds on the clock. Could you pitch your agency, your business right now?
Of course, of course, of course, of course. So hello, nice to meet you. My name is Riley, and I'm the owner of Collective Agencies. We are trying to redefine the world of entertainment right here to be a complete in-house production company, which means we have whatever you need all under one roof. Now, I know a lot of agencies, a lot of production companies, they use multiple different agencies, multiple different people to be able to create one project. We don't, which means we save you budget, we save you time. If you needed a monkey on a helicopter within 2 hours, that can be done. Very of it. There is nothing we can't achieve. As long as you are a passionate creative, you have a place with us, and we are willing to grow together. There is nothing we can't do. And if there is something you believe that is not doable, I'd love to change your mind on that and show you how we can redefine your content.
There we go. Riley, just before we close, on this podcast, we have what you call a closing tradition. What we do, we every guest that comes on to our episode, we ask them if they've got any pain points in their business or even anything that they just need a little bit of advice on that you can then ask the audience. So, Riley, it is now your turn. Do you currently have any pain points that you're going through with SM Collective Agency, or do you just need have you got something that you need a little bit of advice on that the audience watching at home can either offer their services or they can even give you some advice to help you improve?
Okay, okay. Now I am an old man in terms of technology. Um, social content is really not my forte. I'm a doer. I'm a doer in person. You can tell from the fact I still work with a notepad and pen. Um, so, what I ask very, very politely, please, if everyone could drop at s.m_collective, um, I would really, really, really appreciate that. If there's any venues out there that would like a world of entertainment at their venue, along with that, It's Getting Hot in Here Magic Mike tribute show, which is a gold mine for venues. The show is cheap, and the enormous profits that can be made for the venue is undisputable. So please reach out to us if we can do anything for your venue. Um, our Pole Dream show is launching soon, so you can please follow Pole Dreams UK on Instagram and look out for our latest season of our new TV produced and starring me. Um, Please give us a follow. If there's anyone that ever needs any bit of advice, if there's anyone that's ever looking for work, if there's anyone that's ever looking for tips, tricks, work experience, work, jobs, you can always DM me. My DMs are open. My email is sdmbrum@gmail.com. You can always message me. My messages are always open. I'm here to help. I'm here to be a force for good for the industry. So if anyone would like to get in contact, I can always help. And I'm blessed to be able to help. So come and join the crazy old. There's no pain over here. Pain is gain over here, guys. So we ain't scared of that. Um, Anyone's that's got advice, I'll be willing to take it on board. Anyone that wants to work, you can come and join us. And I'd like to thank you guys for having me. It's been a true pleasure. And I honestly wish you guys this podcast the best, more than the best. It looks like another force for good in the industry. So I can appreciate you guys having me on board. Thank you so much.
Riley, I just want to start off by saying thank you for joining us today, sharing everything that you've given us, and even possibly giving the audience a new dream. So I want to say thank you for coming on. What we'll do, we will definitely put your details in the description below, so everyone can, if you can, just go follow, go get it. Help him grow is the way it needs to be. But to the guys watching at home, thank you so much for watching today's episode. we release an episode every 2 weeks on Wednesday at 5 a.m. So perfect time for your morning commute to work. We've said it before, we'll say it again. But yes, thank you very much for watching. Make sure you subscribe, like, all the usual. Riley, once again, thank you so much for joining us. And we will join you guys next time. Thank you.